Okay, today I'm refuting the claim that social media is the main cause of anorexia for teenage girls. With the secondary claims that the internet negatively influences people considering eating disorders, and models used in the media to promote products are a catalyst for eating disorders. So, in my opponent's argument, they mentioned that the social media, and they use pro-ano websites and models in publications as evidence for the main cause of anorexia in teenage girls. They didn't mention the other more central factors contributing to anorexia, which would be psychological factors. So in the first secondary claim, the internet negatively influences people considering eating disorders. The pro-ano websites are not as much a cause, but are rather an effect or result of disorders, and are used as a sharing of information for those with disorders. So these websites do reinforce anorexic ideals, but the anorexia begins before they seek out these websites. So the girls already have these psychological signs of anorexia, which show they're susceptible to anorexic ideals. And on nationalhealthsurvey.uk, there's a page on the causes of anorexia, and these psychological factors include depressive tendencies, poor reactions to stress, obsessive compulsive tendencies, and other factors including traumatic life events. So I have an example from a friend of mine, Michael, who has a sister who has struggled with anorexia from her teen years into her adult life. And their family believes a likely catalyst for her anorexia was the traumatic event of her brother's death to brain cancer. And this stress and trauma from that event put the whole family in a depressive state. So this would have been the main cause likely for her anorexia, as it started soon after that event. So my opponent's second claim is that models in the media to promote products are a catalyst for eating disorders. And there's actually a study on the New England Journal of Medicine that these type of cultural influences that people think cause anorexia are actually not as crucial as people think. So there was a study done by multiple doctors in Curacao, which is a Caribbean island. And the rates of anorexia reported there were actually the same as in the US, so it contradicts the idea that the cultural factors like the models in magazines are the leading cause of anorexia or the main cause, and it suggests that they are not as crucial. And that's it.
All right, well, you need to work a little bit on your eye contact and build up some credibility, but your explanations I thought were pretty solid. I like the idea that you're going to be arguing that there's a counter-causality that the advocate has ignored and that they have to do with psychological factors. I thought you did a pretty good job explaining that and then demonstrating it in vivid terms with the personal example of the family that you know and illustrating that point. I think you could probably use a little bit more information on this, and I'm sure that there are plenty of psychologists who would suggest that this is a much more complex relationship. Your analysis of the pro sites, I think, is an interesting one. I think you are probably right that these are a reflection of the desires as opposed to the source of the desires there. That would make sense. They're not likely to exist until somebody wanted them in the first place. I still think there could probably be a little bit more analysis of what's going on there with the way those sites are being used, but I thought that was a good explanation. At least it's a good theory on that point. On the second point, I do think that you have a piece of information here that might be useful, but it doesn't sound like it's being quoted directly. It sounds like it's sort of a summary or a secondary source that you're giving us, and as a consequence, it's not quite as convincing as it might be otherwise, and that's the only evidence that you have on that particular point. So I think that you're not quite as strong on that point as you were on the first point. All right.